Welcome to Badminton Unlimited, your weekly access to badminton action and beyond. This week, we meet up with the best men's doubles pairing in the world, Indonesia's Hendra Setiawan and Muhammad Ahsan. And we're in Sydney for the inaugural Star Australian Badminton Open Superseries as we find out what it takes to put together one of the elite events on the BWF calendar. We start the show in Indonesia. For most badminton purists, this country is one of the cornerstones of the sport's history. It has produced some of the greats of the game. 8-time All-England champion Rudy Hartono and Olympic gold medalist Taufik Hidayat, to name two. Although the nation's status has dipped in recent years due to China's dominance, an Indonesian pair is still flying the flag high. Meet men's world #1 duo Hendra Setiawan and Muhammad Ahsan. For the dynamic pair, badminton has been in their blood from the beginning.
From the start, both my parents were badminton coaches in my local club. When I was 7, I was already following them to training. I got more serious about the sport when I was about 10 or 11. I eventually moved to Jakarta at 13 to play for a club.
My parents were very much into sports, so naturally, their kids were influenced into it as well. At the start, I was just playing badminton for fun. But maybe, from watching past Indonesian players doing the country proud, I was attracted to do the same and be serious in the sport.
The reigning world champions were in Jakarta for the recent Indonesia Open when Badminton Unlimited caught up with them. Hendra hails from Pemalang in central Java, an island in the southeast of the Indonesian archipelago, while Ahsan hails from Palembang, Sumatra in the east. After making the big decision to pursue badminton, both moved to the capital in their early teens, dreaming of badminton glory. But they weren't expecting instant success. At an early age, they'd been taught the value of good old-fashioned hard work.
When I was young, I was up very early before school to do my exercises. I had to sweat to feel energized before going to school. Working hard is the key to unlock your potential.
It was only through training and discipline. Training hard is a must. I eventually got used to the intensity of it.
Hendra and Ahsan were only paired together towards the end of 2012. Before that, both had started out with different partners, resulting in contrasting fortunes. Hendra, who is 3 years the senior of Ahsan, was the more decorated, beginning a glittering career with Marquis Kido. Their 9-year partnership garnered countless Super Series and Grand Prix titles on the BWF circuit. Hendra's crowning moment with Marquis was at the 2008 Beijing Olympics, where they struck gold. Unfortunately, that was to be as good as it got, as a period of indifferent form followed.
During that time, when it was just between the two of us, I told Marquis that my target was the London Olympics. But when we couldn't get to compete there, we decided to go our separate ways.
Meanwhile, Ahsan's combination with his partner, Bono Septano, wasn't going the way he had wanted.
My partnership with Bona started in 2005 until 2012. Our targets were also the Olympics, but when we got there, we weren't very successful. We were not doing very well, and we did not win any Super Series event. Actually, we both, including the coaches, evaluated that it's best we split up.
The end of their individual partnerships would bring about the birth of Indonesia's next big thing in men's doubles. The pairing proved to be a masterstroke from the national coaches. Bringing together the accomplished Hendra and the much-to-prove Ahsan breathed life back into the players' flagging careers. 2013 was their first full season together, and it was a momentous one, as they brought home titles in abundance, including 5 Super Series victories and a Champions Podium finish at the season-ending BWF World Superseries finals. But the highlight of the year was clinching the BWF World Championship title in China.
I'm quite satisfied with our achievements, but at the same time, I never expected to win those titles so soon. I definitely never expected to be a world champion last year. I'm very thankful.
It has been my ambition since I was a kid to be a world champion, and it finally happened. I was telling Hendra then that it felt like an unbelievable dream. I was so thankful.
While their individual brilliance is undeniable, a major part of their success stems from their on-court chemistry.
Communication is important. When I'm playing badly and Hendra's doing well, he's always supporting. He'll never scold. If you do that, the other player will feel demoralized. It's the same the other way around. When he's not playing well, I'll try to give him my support. We always support each other.
The world's #1 men's pair is also adamant that without support off the court as well, things would have turned out differently.
My parents are always behind me even when I'm losing. They'll always support me. They'll always tell me to keep going next time.
Usually, most people will just stand by you when you're winning. But when you lose, suddenly they are no longer supporting as much. But family, friends, and a certain set of supporters will always keep pushing me on.
2014 hasn't been as prolific for Ahsan and Hendra, with only the All-England title to show for their efforts. Nevertheless, the Indonesian duo is hoping for another fine finish to the year.
This year we still have the World Championships and the Asian Games. Those are our targets. Hopefully we can prepare to the fullest.
We achieved our first target, the All-England. We will focus on the World Championships because to defend the title will be very difficult. And then there's the Asian Games. Hopefully we'll do well there as well.
Despite their storied success, Muhammad Ahsan and Hendria Setiawan remain grounded, as they've always been. But don't let their calmness fool you. The Ahsan-Hendra combo looks to continue Indonesian men's doubles dominance for years to come. Time to tease your brain in this week's Who Am I? I was born in Spain. I made my international debut in 2005. I am the first Spanish player to have won a Grand Prix gold title. Find out who this mystery person is after the break.
Would be Kuala Lumpur. Chicken. Favorite movie is Shawshank Redemption. Favorite actor would be Hrithik Roshan from India, and actress, no one. Band is definitely Metallica. I grew up on Metallica. And singer would be from AC/DC, the lead singer. Is New Delhi. Favorite birthday gift is a cake. Is Roger Federer. Just having a cup of tea and relaxing with my son. Would be cricket. Jump, smash really hard like Lee Chong Wei.
When we get back, we go behind the scenes of the Australian Open to find out what it takes to put on a Super Series event. Welcome back to Badminton Unlimited. Before the break, we asked you to figure out who this person was. I was born in Spain. I made my international debut in 2005. I am the first Spanish player to have won a Grand Prix gold title. The answer is Carolina Marin. Marin was born in 1993 in Spain. She became the first Spanish player to have won a Grand Prix gold title after winning the 2013 London Grand Prix Gold. She is her country's #1 women's singles shuttler and is currently ranked 10th in the world. Australia is a premier sporting destination in the world and home to many great sporting events. Its most populous city and arguably its sporting capital, Sydney, recently added another feather to their sporting legacy when they won the bid to host the first ever BWF World Superseries in the Oceania region.
It's huge for Badminton Australia because we need to raise the profile of our sport in the country. We need to do it for our funding partners. We need to do it for the sport in general, and to have an event of this magnitude and with this number of wonderful people coming surely will create the interest we're after.
The Star Australian Badminton Open has evolved from an international series to being part of the World Superseries elite in a short time span. In 2011, the Australian Badminton Open was promoted to a Grand Prix Gold event. And within 2 years, the country's Badminton Federation bid for the World Superseries Premier level, but was awarded a World Superseries event instead, ushering the Oceania Confederation into the sport's big league, alongside Asia and Europe. No mean feat for a nation where badminton is still in its nascent stages.
For Grand Prix Gold, it's not difficult to get a Grand Prix Gold. You basically just have the right prize money. Anyone can have a Grand Prix Gold, from what I understand. Yeah. But the Super Series is a limited number, and you need to bid for it.
With a prize money of $750,000 US up for grabs, the inaugural World Superseries Australian Badminton Open has become one of the richest professional badminton tournaments in the world, equivalent only to the Indonesian Open Superseries.
We were so happy that we have the sponsors who give us this money. Destination New South Wales has been wonderful for us, and they committed to taking the prize money higher so we can go for the Super Series. So we have other sponsors as well. The Star is the naming rights here, but primarily Destination New South Wales is the wonderful sponsor who enables us to host these. If we didn't have sponsors, we couldn't host.
Badminton Australia was hosting an event of this magnitude for the first time, and it came with its own set of challenges.
The challenges are great. We have to have all the infrastructure in the stadium. The stadium is there, but you have to get all the people, you have to get specific requirements from the BWF. It's just not the players, it's the volunteers. We have to look after the volunteers, we have to have lines people, we have to have umpires. So there's a huge number of manpower behind every event.
The association has received a shot in the arm with their newly acquired Super Series status. 26 of their best local players competed in the tournament and had the opportunity of interacting with some of the best talent in the world.
For us personally, it's a great goal to try and make the main draw of this Super Series and then of course progress through. And of course having all these great competitors here to learn from and watch is really good for us to develop.
The Super Series Down Under attracted some big names in the business, with two-time Olympic champion Lin Dan headlining the event, along with women's top-seeded player Wang Shixian from China and Korean men's doubles world #2 Lee Yong-dae and Yu Yeon-seong.
We love our sport in Australia, so when you have the opportunity to see the elite in any sport, Australians are interested, and I think the virtue of the fact that the tickets are more or less sold out is testament to that huge interest. I think it will raise the profile of the sport. I think it will create brand new fans, and for those who are already fans, I'm sure they can't wait to get out to Sydney Olympic Park to see the Australian Badminton Open over the next few days.
With over 126 athletes from 22 nations participating in the event, the fans were not the only ones excited.
We've been looking so much forward to come to Australia. This is the first time for both of us, so yeah, the first impression is really good.
I think it's great that the big names is coming to this tournament to support a new super series on the tour. I don't think it's the most easy thing to get the big stars to a tournament, so it's great that people is coming.
It's a magnificent chance for Australia. I really think it's a fantastic opportunity. I believe it's only a good thing for countries that are not playing well or at a high level to still have the right to host the Super Series tournaments.
With all the ingredients in place, the Star Australian Badminton Open was a resounding success, with big-ticket names walking away with accolades on court. But off the court, the organisers were already looking ahead.
We learn all the time. We'll find it easier next time to set up because we know the rules better, because the BWF rules we meet, but it's hard. They come along and say, no, you have to do this. So next time we'll have it ready more easily and more quickly.
The players' feedback back to us is that they are going to come back again for next year. I think that is all we are after.
We'll be on the lookout to see what 2015 has in store for the Star Australian Badminton Open. After the break, we look back at the history-making achievements of the Japan national team as we talk to its stars. Time to look at the Destination Dubai rankings. This week, we feature the women's singles. Still in pole position is China's Li Xuerui. Moving up one spot is compatriot and current world number 2 Wang Shixian, closely followed by yet another Chinese player, Wang Yihan, who has dropped a place. India's Saina Nehwal climbs up a spot to 9th, and rounding up the top 10 is China's Han Li, who has moved up 2 places. Destination Dubai rankings will update the Thursday after each World Super Series tournament, so log on to www.bwfbadminton.org to find out the latest information and find out more about this end-of-season event.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let us all roar out for the leading BWF Thomas Cup gold medalists, Japan!
I couldn't believe it. It was unreal, and I was really very happy that we had won.
It's an event that I've always yearned for, an important event.
I was really happy when we won. I'm elated to have fought as one with the rest of the team and won the cup.
It has been almost 2 months since the end of badminton's most prestigious team tournament. 4 years ago in Kuala Lumpur, Japan created history by reaching the Thomas Cup semi-finals for the first time. They repeated the feat 2 years later in Wuhan, China. But in India in May, they rewrote history by storming into their maiden finals, then took it all when they claimed their first ever Thomas Cup title. When Badminton Unlimited caught up with the champions at the recently concluded Yonex Open Japan, they were being honoured in front of their adoring fans.
The reality of winning has yet to sink in. As the Yonex Open Japan is the first big event held in Japan after the Thomas Cup, it holds a lot of meaning for me. I learned a lot at the Thomas Cup, and it was a great experience.
However, the road to success has been anything but easy. 2 weeks leading up to the tournament, the team went into camp. The sole purpose was to develop the togetherness and intensity that would be needed to take away the prize that had up till now eluded them.
The training camp was very hard indeed, but our coach, Mr. Park Juban, kept saying that we would make it to the finals. His confidence and belief in the team inspired us, so everyone was spurred to work hard towards that goal and to overcome it.
The atmosphere at the training camp was very good. Regardless of whether it was China or any other team, the training made us feel we could win against any opponent. It was truly a good atmosphere.
Their preparations worked as they put on a sensational performance in the semi-finals to crush five-time defending champions China 3-0.
As a result of winning the first and second match, our team spirit was very high. And because of that, I felt we had the chance to win. Furthermore, we had the support of crowd and our teammates. We were united as one.
The score was 2-0 and it was up to me to make it or break it. I went on the court with the intention of winning. I was numbed with happiness at that instant when I won.
Into the finals, and they were up against five-time champions Malaysia, who had in their team the world #1 singles shuttler Lee Chong-wei. But Japan was undeterred. Each player was determined to bring home the cup. But it was 25-year-old Takuma Ueda who would push his nation across the finish line.
Japan have rewritten the record books. The Japanese team go wild in celebration.
At the instant when I won, I really did not know what to feel. My mind went blank. It was such an overwhelming feeling. The reality of winning the Thomas Cup only sank in when I lifted the trophy.
As expected, the crowd were the most excited. Also, the feeling of the whole team fighting together was great. It was the best feeling in the world.
The mastermind behind the incredible achievement is head coach Park Juban. The Korean is one of the most successful players in the history of the sport, but one trophy had always been beyond his grasp. But finally, he got his hand on the treasured Thomas Cup.
This is very special for me in Thomas Cup. Actually, when I was a player, I never win to this Thomas Cup. But when I coaching to some countries, also it's a big target is in Thomas Cup. But when I was in England, when I was in Malaysia, I couldn't win the Thomas Cup. But finally in Japan, it's 10 years, but finally I get the Thomas Cup, so I'm very happy.
Japan's triumph in India and its humbling of China has become an instant classic in the history of the Thomas Cup. Will it herald a new dawn for Japan's national team? We will have to wait. What is sure is that for the players who shook up the badminton world in New Delhi in May are assured of a special place in the sport's history. Before we leave, let's take a look at what's happening in the world of international badminton in our Badminton Unlimited calendar. Next week on Badminton Unlimited, we catch up with Scotland's #1 mixed doubles pairing, Imogen Bankier and Robert Blair. And we hang out with some of the stars of the sport as they help push badminton in Dubai. See you next week.